What's up, y'all? It's Brandon from Honesty Gaming, and today we are back with my Let's Build series in Space Engineers, which has been getting a lot of good feedback. So, the first one I want to address comes from Brian Netta, who mentioned that my intro video was a little bit loud compared to the volume that I'm speaking at right now. I rewatched one of my clips. That is absolutely fair, so I went ahead and turned down the volume on the intro video for this. I also heard a comment that my video was a little bit on the long side. I am thinking about how to either shorten the intro video or possibly just do a different intro video. Let me know what you guys think. I honestly like the intro video the way it is, but if it's long and that's taking away from the series and that's kind of taking away from the experience of the video, I'd rather change it than stick to my guns in this particular case. So let's go ahead and hop back into my character. Alright, so first of all, I did actually go ahead and do a few test paints already of just copies of it just to see what it might look like. You're going to notice that we are going with this kind of purplish pink color, Barney. I'm going to call it Barney color. That suggestion came from Empty Chunk 4220. Empty Chunk was the only one who responded when I asked, hey, no context, give me a color that's not white, gray, or black. And he said purple pink. So, the miner is going to be purple pink as the primary color. I am going to be doing the painting live for you guys so that you can see how I go through the process of deciding colors normally. So let's pretend that none of this happened and start fresh. Alright, so first question I ask myself when I'm about to paint something is, what is the purpose of this vehicle? What is this vehicle going to be used for? Are there going to be people around it? Alright, the purpose of this vehicle is to be a miner. It is going to operate inside of a mine. It is going to potentially have people working around it while it is active. So, thinking about machines in the real world that fit those criteria, I can think of like tractors. I can think of industrial machines like excavators and bulldozers. Tractors, I believe, two famous brands are John Deere, which is a very rich green, and International Harvester, which is red. For industrial machines, I can think of Caterpillar right off the bat, which is a yellow. So, in the real world, these machines are painted bright colors, and I believe the reason for that is so that people can see them when you're working around them. So, I'm going to paint this a bright color, or at least include a bright color to make it more visible. Next, and this actually relates a little bit more to the texture, or the skin that I'm going to be using. What is the use of the vehicle? Is this a demo model that you're trying to sell? Is this a showroom model? Or is this the working model? Is this the one that's actually being used in the field? In this case, I'm going to say this is probably the working model used in the field, not the demo model, especially since if we're building this in-game, we want to use it. So, looking at the different textures, the default comes with a few dents and scratches, so that's not bad, but we're talking about a miner. It's something that's going to be used in a mine and hitting walls and all that. So, battered is probably going to be a better bet. Plus, I don't really want this to look all shiny, and even the default armor does have a bit of shine to it. So we're going to go with battered so that all that shine goes away. Alright. Next up, there are three... I tend to think of there being like 3 layers of color to put on a ship. You got the base color, you got the primary color, and then you got an accent color. The primary color is the color that you sort of look at a vehicle and go, oh, that is that color. So if you think about a car, whatever car you got in your driveway, think about the color of that vehicle. most of the vehicle is not that color. The interior is probably not that color, unless it's black exterior, black interior, or something like that. The motor components, not that color. The tires, not that color. The underside of the car, also not that color. But we call it a red car, black car, green car, blue car, pink car, yellow car, because the brightest, most obvious color on the outside of the vehicle is that color. That's the primary color. The base color for a car would probably be more like steel colored. It would be probably very dark, maybe even brown and gritty. Like it might even be dusty or hopefully not rusty. But that would be the color under the hood. That would be the color that it is not, but it is primarily made of. Finally, you have the accent color. This is the color that, like chrome. Okay, going back to a car, chrome would be an accent color for the car. So, you don't call it a chrome car just because it has a lot of chrome. You call it a white car, gray car, whatever. But it brings out the primary color. It's used to accent the primary color. So, what should we use as a base color? After doing a little bit of testing, I tried out 3 base colors. White, gray, and then really dark gray, pretty much black, but also not quite. Black I found hides too many of these small details of battered armor, like the rivets, so I'm going with dark gray. As the darkest possible color for this. So, I think the white and purple looks okay, but I've never seen a construction vehicle that is 2 light colors, or rather, let me put that a different way. I don't like putting 2 light colors together. A light color draws your attention to it. Okay, it says, hey, look at me. That's why, like, stealth builds are black, but, let's see. I think a lot of showroom cars are a bright color like white or red or like blue or something like that, a rich color. So I don't really want to put white as the base color with the pink because it's drawing my eye to every little component, and there's some components I don't really want to show off. The whole effect does look great, but I don't need the extra accents on these engines. I don't need the extra accents on the batteries or these cargo containers. I don't need to be looking at those. Those should be blending into the background of this. The fighter cockpit could go either way. We'll see at the end. We'll see at the end. The gray, I usually like the gray because it tends to mute whatever color it's attached to. So it makes it less horrifically insert color here, horrifically hot pink, horrifically bright orange, horrifically bright yellow. But I think in this case it mutes it just a little too much. And I don't really like the overall effect. When I went with black, it really emphasized the brightness of the pink without like pushing it out too far. The only thing I didn't like is that the pink I chose plus the skin I chose was a little bit extra dark. So this whole ship ended up looking very dark. So what I did is I grabbed some white and threw it on there just to lighten up a few parts. And I thought it actually looked good. I didn't like white on all the parts with the pink, but white on a few parts with black as the primary, I think that looks okay. So that's my 3 colors that I'm going to be going with. Black as the base color. Barney. Okay, fine. It's Barney colored. Barney color as the primary color. and then white as an accent color. This over here, well, actually both of these, but I'm going to use this one because this one got washed out. These over here, or this over here is a test paint I did, just to see how those colors would kind of go together. I'm not a huge fan of exactly how it turned out, and I couldn't put a finger on why. Probably a little too much white. I started with white as the base color on this one, and then used black as the accent color instead. And it ended up just looking a little bit too white everywhere. I do like the white stripe on top, and I think I do like these white nacelles, and I kind of like the white drills, so I'm probably going to keep those. We'll see what else I keep, but I kind of want this to be a little bit darker on the interior components. Oh, I also like this white stripe down here. So, let's talk about which colors you should be using for these. Please do not use 3 different bridge colors, okay? Like, please do not use 3 different non-grayscale colors. That tends to look very garish and really needs some, like, I believe in art it's called rest space, like a place for your eye to just look at when it doesn't want to be distracted by colors. So if I did this in like pink, green, and also blue, the overall effect would be way too busy and kind of look very ugly. So, I wouldn't recommend doing something like that. However, you can use 2 colors like that with a third color that's not, and with a third color that's more neutral, a grayscale. Something that comes to mind, just because I'm American, red, white, and blue. Red and blue, those are the non-grayscale colors, and then white would be kind of the background for that. And that would look probably okay. You could do the same thing if I went with Germany colors. I believe it's Germany. That's green, orange, and black. 2 colors, 1 grayscale. So you can do something like that if you want a really colorful vehicle. That's not really my style, but it can look good. Something I'm going to touch on real fast is keep the lighting you want to use in mind. So the lights here are cyan. Honestly, because I thought I was going to try out like a, I believe it's called Hotline colors, with pink and then light blue from the lights, but it ended up looking pretty bad, so I think I'm not going to do that. Yeah, the pink ended up just looking, oh, what's the term for that? Ultraviolet. It kind of has an ultraviolet feel to it, which would be great if we were building like a city hover vehicle, but we're not. We're building a miner, so not doing that. All right, back over to our canvas here. Now, for painting tools, you just bring up P. Well, you hit P to bring up the color picker. And for our base color, we're going to grab this one over here. This is a default gray, hex 262626. Hit battered. Hit OK. Then grab any block. I'm going to keep symmetry on for this. And then hit Control Shift middle mouse button. Also brings build vision if you have that there. Alright, and the entire grid is painted something other than default gray. I think this immediately looks a lot better, if nothing else because it shows, yeah, I took the time to go into the color picker and pick a color. I haven't seen too many things on the workshop that don't have this, but there are a few, and every time I see those, I don't question it when the author says, yeah, this looks great, but I can't really tell the difference between you thinking the default gray looks good and just deciding not to put any effort into making it a little more interesting. So, I try not to assume that someone doesn't or didn't put any effort into it, but I can't help but have that as my first impression if it's the default gray. So, just putting this on here says I put this much effort into it. Okay, so next up we need our primary color. Just grab the pink and go ahead and paint these lines. Remember how last time I was talking about the lines that I was building? Well, when you're painting, if you built with lines like this, or at least you had an idea of where your lines were, it's really, really easy to just paint those lines and create an interesting color scheme. So like there, we got all the pink down there. I think I'm going to make that white eventually, so I'm just going to do pink around the outside here. Alright. And you can kind of see the lines I was talking about last time. The two stretching up, they're a little more obvious now. That's another thing that paint does. It makes the lines you already put in your ship that much more obvious. Let's bring this down the shoulder pads. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, doo, doo, doo. Oh, by the way, it's middle mouse button to paint an individual block. So, we got that done. I think that's... let's go and put the pink up here. The Barney color up here. Alright. So now that that's done, you can see that the black kind of makes the pink blend in a little bit too much. If you like that effect, cool. Okay? But for me, it's making it blend in a little too much, and I kind of want to emphasize it. Plus, these nacelles that I think are so awesome are just kind of hiding out here. So, let's grab white. Actually, let's go with a tone darker in white. Yeah, just a tone, a shade more gray. Shades of gray. And this should bring out the nacelles a little bit. Yeah, very nicely. And the gray kind of matches up with the gray on the engine parts, so that works out. Anything else I want to make white? I think the drills need to be white. No, it's making them stick out a little too much. Back to the gray. I'm trying to emphasize the interesting bits. The drills are already interesting by themselves. I don't need to emphasize them any further. Alright, what else? Also, I like painting with light armor blocks, not other colors, just because it helps me visualize where the blocks can go. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the stripes. So let's do the stripe on the bottom. Like so. And the stripe on the top. Alright. So now, if we put away our block, you can see that if you just take a look at this, your eyes kind of ignore the drills, then go directly to the white line on the back, and also the nacelles on the sides. So it kind of hides all the components in the middle, while also having them there is just background detail. And I think that's actually a very good effect for this. The pink gives it a little bit of a personality. Just as just some life to it that's not boring and black or gray or white or something like that. And even from the bottom, well, from the bottom it's very very visible. but I think that works out. Okay, I think this looks good. I wasn't exactly sold on the color right when I started using it, but I don't know. It's. I'm warming up to it. I'm warming up to it. All right. So next time we're going to be going into the software part of this, and that if you're noticing that this is not lit up at all, that's because lights and getting the lighting colors is really tied into the software, so I kind of want to do that when I'm doing the software part of it, as just kind of something to do other than sitting in the cockpit and going through menus and all that. So hopefully that'll make that video a little more interesting. And that will be the next video I do, setting up the software part of it, so that if you download this ship from the workshop, you hop in, you open up the control menu, you don't have this. You do not have this mess right here. You don't have a completely empty hotbar. So I think that is just about where I'm going to end it. Alright then, so let's go and grab a screenshot of this vehicle. Fly it out this way a little bit. Actually, let's head up. Let's have just a little bit. Wide angle screenshot. More. So yeah, this looks just about okay. Oh yeah, screenshots are also art. That's why I'm trying to pay attention to them. So let's turn off the menu, grab a screenshot, and oh, okay. That was the wrong button. I just realized something. This little nose bit right here, I think I'd like that to be white, actually. So, oop. There, pink. All right. And now that we got a screenshot, now that we have our painted up ship, I think I'm going to call the video there. So I know it's a shorter video, but honestly painting doesn't take that long, so I'm okay with that this time. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video and you want to see more chill gaming content like it, you can hit those subscribe and notification buttons down below. Also, if you want to support the channel, be sure to leave a like. It really helps me out. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all later.